There goes the bench, just starting. Hey, everyone. What are the chances of me being able to have a second? Salut, Elias. Yes, sir, man. What are the chances of me having another live stream with more jam packed news? There's an asteroid on its way to Earth. Une douleur dans ma bouche, au-dessus de ma gencive, de ma dent en avant. Ma chaise qui baisse continuellement. Tout en même temps, là, pour le moment. Là. La petite chaise est en train de pogner les nerfs, mon homme. Ça va prendre du duct tape. Ça va prendre du duct tape. Puis là, en plus, le petit trou dans le plancher, il faut que je passe au-dessus du petit trou dans le plancher. Bon, ben, le monde arrive. On va arrêter. C'était le fun. J'étais prêt. Oui, t'étais prêt. Même, j'ai vu la page ouvrir, puis j'ai vu toi apparaître comme si tu faisais partie de la page. Sander, Boomerang, how's it going? Casa Nostra, thanks a lot for coming in, you guys. Before K's here, Dan, Rexia, hey, Bruce, I see you titled The Moon for us all this evening. Looks nice. Yeah, well, just a little hairline moon. I can see it right now, actually, outside. It's just starting to get come out and get bigger in size. It's a hairline, just bigger than a hairline. It's got a star right underneath it, probably Venus, but we can see just underneath it. My bench is going down. I have an excruciating pain in my gum. I don't know if it's an abscess or something over the tooth. Whew. Pretty serious. So it's like my whole face is going like fire right now. Still smiling though. Bobana, how's it going? Getting a sore back from putting that freaking bench up. Oh, we can't swear yet. We got to wait 30 seconds. Sugar B is here in the house. Francine M, thanks you guys. If I'm not smiling too much tonight, it's because of my mouth. I'll fake smile. Francine M, hey Bruce, and fam also from Sudbury. Thank you very much. Hoping that Sudbury's in Australia. I'm getting to know the world, to learn about the world. Punctured Ball is here. Hello, twice in one day. Can't get enough in the UK. Thank you very much, my friend. We have an asteroid coming towards Earth. That's pretty cool. Bruce, I'm going to send you a floor piece and repair this damn hole. When the house is paid, I'll pay the hole. When I buy the house, when it's mine, I'll do the repairs. Just paying the friggin' rent all the time. Neiman Clove. Right on. Thanks, you guys, for being here. Whoop, it's a little jumpy today. Gonna have some fun with it, right? Hi, Sugar B. Thanks a lot for being here, you guys. We have Miss LD. Hello. Thanks for coming in, you guys. YouTubular lover. I love that name. Hi, Bruce. Hi. Thanks, guys. Comment ça va, Annabone? Hello, Bruce. Adios, Valhalla. Casa Nostra. Before K. Bobana. Thanks for welcoming everyone. Merci beaucoup, Anna. Francine M. Ontario in the house. Thanks, you guys. My neighbors in Ontario. Thanks for coming in. Hey, 20 more likes. That's awesome. Always an awesome thing out there here in the house. Thanks a lot for coming in, you guys. Yeah. Oh, it happens. It's nerve ending. I have the roots of my teeth go up really, really high. My teeth are like ivory. They're really long. So the front tooth that I have, I've always had beautiful straight teeth, and I banged it when I was younger, and now with the age, now it's starting to move a little bit, but I just moved it with my hand yesterday for the fun of it. Not like this. Tried to see if it was loose, and it was just a little bit, and then it swell up in the gum part on top. So it'll be okay tomorrow. Took a couple of aspirins. Not aspirins, you know what I mean. I'm old. I say aspirins, but it's Tylenol. I don't want to bleed to death, so I don't take aspirin. Nice glass of whiskey, some alcohol with some couple of aspirins. Go and get in an accident, you bleed to death. Boy, I tell you that. Who else is here? We have Tommy Bird in the house. Good evening. Let it rip, Bruce. Good vibes. Thank you very much. There's lots going on in the news, actually. Is Blue Origin. You guys remember Blue Origin? They sent up a couple of tourists into space. It's supposed to be for tourism. They're raising money. They sent up an elderly person. They sent up a young person. They sent up a whole bunch of people. And what happened is there was an act, well, sort of say a failure, if you want, where the head dislodged itself from the fuselage, and then the fuselage fell back down, caught on fire, and there was an investigation into Blue Origin. So, if I'm not mistaken, it was, well, they indicated it in, I'll read it a bit later. These are all interesting things. I don't linger. I'm not just blah, blah, blah talking so that I can last 2 hours and get views. The goal here is not to get views, it's that people come and find the channel interesting and want to see more videos and stuff like that. The live streams is really for when you know me and you see a couple of videos, maybe you'll have some questions and you'll want to ask me a few things. And of course, we have an incredible community here. So, hey, Argentina, thank you, Christian, Georgie, thank you very much. Passage turned to a nice blue sky. It's not long, Casa Nostra, here too. And actually, they're nighttime spraying right now. They're spraying literally the hell. When I say they're spraying the hell out of the sky, it's when I see 7 or 8 lines. That's it's pretty much, I find, spraying the living hell out of the sky and blocking everything from us. We got some more snow coming here, actually, for this weekend. It could be snow. It could be a mixture of rain and, slush, sleet, hail, the whole kit and caboodle. I notice NASA's announcing the day of the Triffids phase, dandelion seeds from space. Cool, been expecting that with a twist of a word of the worlds, loving their work. Right on. I didn't know about that. The Triffids phase, dandelion seeds from space. Didn't hear about that one. I know Bennu Asteroid is also coming back. The samples. This will be the first asteroid mission, from having a sample return from space. Remember, Bennu made a cloud at one point, and it was hard for, well, not hard, but it made, I guess, a dust in space as it landed and picked up the samples. However, whoever the hell did pick up the samples, they must maybe sent some type of robot on the asteroid to go pick that up. A little special way. Skywise observations, awesome stuff going on, and I'm stuck with this yuck overhead. Yeah, I got some yuck here overhead too. Unfortunately, it seems that more and more there's humidity. And again, I mentioned in the first stream, Tonga eruption. It was a missile. Tonga eruption was one of the causes, sending so much humidity into the stratosphere that obviously maybe other volcanoes contributing to that too, that there's more humidity around the world. So you can imagine if there was a giant, I was saying it in the first stream, I'm pretty sure the sun is what would have caused, okay, not, scientifically, okay, it would be the sun, a giant flash from the sun that would have caused major storms, floods, landslides, maybe a lot of volcanic activity. And that volcanic activity would have brought a lot of humidity around Earth, a lot of clouds, dark clouds. Obviously, for months, Earth would have been plunged into a bit of the dark ages, and the temperatures that were already rising would start to descend, and it could possibly cause an ice age or a mini ice age, or possibly the last ice age that just occurred here on Earth. I'm really starting to think more and more that's probably most likely what happened. Tommy Bird, again, thanks you guys for coming in. Right on. I am Kai. Okay, Francine. She goes neem and clove for sore gums. Okay, I'm thinking, hi, it's Francine. You got neem and clove here watching too from Ontario. So I'm just being silly. But actually, I thought that. Neem and clove. I don't even know what that is for sore gums. Maybe that's why I have sore gums, because I don't know what that is. But thank you very much. I will look into that. Chemis are there. Surveil. Yes. Oh, yeah. Listen, I think they're going to be there for a long time, too. I'm going to see them doing that for the longest time. Before K, hi. Thanks again. Christina. Hello. We have our friend Aliaus Valhatla with his other channel, music channel, Crazy Music Space Jam channel. Check it out and check out his music setup, guys. He also supports the channel. He's always here with us. Aliaus Valhatla's channel. Yes, hello to our friends from Argentina in the house. Comment ça va à toi, Céline Loveslide? Ben, bonne soirée à toi, je te remercie beaucoup. Si jamais tu es libre demain, heure de l'Est vers 13h, on va faire aussi un en direct sur ma chaîne française. Et sinon, ben, merci beaucoup. Thanks for coming by here. Mr. C, how big is it? That's what she said. Oh, I'm sorry. The asteroid thing. Yeah, absolutely. His Highness. I'm going to go tell you that right now, Mr. C. Yep, ouch. Yeah, very normal. It's excruciating, actually. The point I can't really smile. It's hard, talking to a lot of people and not smiling. When you always have a stupid smile like me. Scott Robinson in the house. Thank you very much for being here. Zcam vitamin C healed my teeth. No lie. No more wiggle. Hey, no, I believe that 100%. As a matter of fact, I have some vitamin C here and I will take it. Thanks, Casa Nostra. Aaron Blue Tea's in the house. Margaret Leach, thanks for coming back, Margaret Leach. We got an asteroid coming towards Earth. And let's go see that right now real quickly so I can distribute the news in increments and not just maybe stay off screen and read space news. But very interesting. And it's coming by tomorrow, guys, Saturday. I think it's 3 or 4 o'clock Eastern time. And I'll be able to confirm that to you right now when the page changes. There we are. Let's do it. Let's go check right away that asteroid that we're talking about. Oh, yeah, they found also a helium-burning white dwarf. Not that it changes anything in our lives, but you guys are paying for it. We're all paying for it. Let's see. First, Blue Origin. So Blue Origin went up. There was a mishap that happened, a failure. Then they said that they were actually not going to relaunch. I heard that the company was not closing, but they weren't going to do that project. So Blue Origin hopes to resume space flights soon after 2022 accident. So they are calling it an accident. And Jeff Bezos' space company is the owner of Blue Origin. This is on Friday. Would have said that the company hopes to resume rocket flights soon following the conclusion of an investigation into a crash last year. But it must wait for U.S. regulators to accept the findings. So there wasn't an investigation, obviously. The company's New Shepard suborbital rockets, it was called the New Shepard, right? Which are intended for space tourism, among other purposes that they're not going to tell us about yet, will they? Have been grounded following the September 2022 accident. That following the September 2022 accident that occurred shortly after liftoff from that was in Texas. The incident marked a setback for the Amazon founder company, though observers were encouraged by the fact that they had people had been on board. You know, what really pisses me off is that a professional website, especially this one, writes something and makes spelling mistakes because they're writing too quickly. Right. The fact that had people been around aboard, they would have, that made no sense. They would have likely survived. The incident marked a setback for the Amazon founders company, though observers were encouraged by the fact that people being aboard. They were moving right along. The flight's rocket consisted of a single booster with Blue Origin's NS-23 capsule on top, carrying a scientific payload. During the mission, an anomaly occurred as the rocket was climbing, appearing to stall as it experienced a technical issue. For those of you that saw it, you'll remember that it went up and then it sort of stopped and had like free airtime, and then before it came down, there's the poof explosion where they let go and where they came down with parachutes to safety. So anomaly occurred as the rocket was climbing, appearing to stall as it experienced a technical issue. The capsule then initiated its escape sequence and outsped the booster, falling back to Earth, slowed by parachutes. Blue Origin noted at the time the booster impacted the ground instead of landing upright as it normally does. The booster impacted the ground instead of landing upright as it normally does. So in other words, in my terms, in my words, everything went wrong. An investigation was subsequently conducted with oversight from the regulatory Federal Aviation Administration, FAA. The FAA said Friday its probe remains open and that it was currently reviewing the company's submission of its mishap report. So there's still, thrust misalignment. Blue Origin said the anomaly was caused by a thermostructural failure of an engine nozzle. So, referring to the duct through which burning gases are ejected. I have a problem with that. Most of the problems, even with Artemis, was that very problem, a fuel hose nozzle. Isn't that the reason that they died? Because it exploded, or there was, again, a problem with the nozzle or whatnot. This in turn resulted in a thrust misalignment that triggered the capsule escape system. Failure of the nozzle was caused by temperatures that were higher than expected, so everything went wrong. The investigation concluded, indicating that design changes should prevent the problem in the future. So think of it, when astronauts are getting ready to go up to space, they're sitting back, they're watching the delays, the setbacks, the problems that occur before they even sit in the bloody rocket. So you got to wonder, I mean, kudos to them. They got balls to risk their lives going up in these, spaceships that, hello, I'm back, spaceships that actually don't work very well. And yet they want to find the furthest galaxy, and they want to go to the end of the universe, and they want to find out how black holes are made of. Instead of checking out what the hell's going on with Earth's core, let's build a planet. It's absolutely ridiculous. Over to the asteroid, which was very interesting. Planetary scientist who in particularly redirects asteroids with NASA was discussing the asteroid named 2023 DZ2. Of course, they designate these asteroids with a year, right? And there's the D, it could be A, B, C, D. There's different ways of that they go about for naming them, but 2023 DZ2. So it was found this year in 2023. Pass of the asteroid 2023 DZ2 in relationship to Earth and the Moon. So the distance that the Moon is to Earth, it's going to be 3 times closer, actually. NASA's Center for Near-Earth Object Studies detected an asteroid. And if you're just arriving, we're talking about the asteroid that is coming tomorrow, Saturday, March 5th. No, Saturday, March 25th. So NASA's Center for Earth Object Studies detected an asteroid that will pass Earth, get this, guys, at 108,000 miles, 108,758 miles. this weekend, tomorrow, which is closer than the moon's distance from Earth. In miles away, 238,000 miles, 855 miles. The Earth is right now away from the moon. And of course, it travels at a distance from closer to further with the apogee and perigee. But right now, 238 miles away. So the asteroid is going to be at 108,000 miles away, plus just a little bit. Let's continue reading a little bit to see the size of it. So it's 200 feet wide. Seth Jacobson, a planetary scientist in Michigan, often these names, we don't know these people. Michigan State University's College of Natural Science is a member of NASA and MSU's Double Asteroid Redirection Test mission. We just had the DART test for redirecting an asteroid, and apparently it worked very well. So this is what they're going to try to do to divert some of these asteroids. I wouldn't be surprised if they probably even tried to divert this one, or as a matter of fact, maybe they already did. They didn't, no mention of it though. But double asteroid redirection test mission, which is the world's first planetary defense space mission, and tested how to redirect asteroids that get hit Earth. What is special about asteroid 2023 DZ2? 2023 DZ2 is the temporary designation for an approximately 200-foot wide asteroid passing near Earth this weekend, Saturday. The asteroid will get closer to Earth than the moon is to Earth. So this week, tomorrow, is a very special object. However, asteroids like 2023 DZ2, this is what they add on. Watch this. However, asteroids like 2023 DZ2 pass this close to Earth every decade or so. So it's not a unique event in a person's lifetime. They just don't ever talk about it. What are they hoping to learn about 2023 DZ2 asteroid? The asteroid will be the closest to Earth, but still over a couple of hundred miles, over 100,000 miles away on Saturday, March 25th at approximately. Now, when they say approximately, I would look from 2 to 5, because often if they say 3:51 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, which is Eastern time, my time, I guess, it will be passing overhead on the other side of the world. A little weird. In mid-Michigan. Okay. Oh, so on top of that, if you're in mid-Michigan, the asteroid just so happens to be whizzing by over your heads. We can see it about 18 hours before or about 16 hours after its closest approach. So hopefully around 3:51 p.m., it is not going to be dark, unfortunately. Hopefully there's no clouds. I will have to try and visualize and view this during the day. So that means I'm going to have to take a camera. I won't be using the infrared camera, unfortunately, because the later it is for me when an asteroid is going by, the quite easy it is for me if I can figure out, north, east, where this object is pointed or facing or going towards. At night, I have a better time at seeing it. But unfortunately, it's coming by at 3:51 p.m. Eastern time, but it will be passing overhead on the other side of the world in mid-Michigan. We can see it about 18 hours before and 16 hours after its closest approach. It's not simply the 12 hours due to Earth's rotation, because the asteroid is moving too. Okay. Excuse me. NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office, they have these big names, eh? That's why they get so much funding, has been monitoring 2023 DZ2 and has deemed it safe. It's safe, so they say. DZ2 is a good example of the kind of object, like I was saying before, the DART mission was designed to prepare humanity to defend itself against. While DZ2, the asteroid, doesn't present a threat, they say, objects like it may in the future, and the DART mission has shown us that kinetic deflector technology works to redirect asteroids. So that was something that can be interesting for us tomorrow, depending on where we are. One of us might possibly see it. I would believe it would create a flashing light that you'd see lighting up and fizzing out if it's in the nighttime. With an asteroid camera, with an infrared camera, sorry, you're definitely going to see it if you're in mid-Michigan, that's for sure. Remains very interesting. Now here I'm looking for my seeing the other asteroid to be sure. Zero chance of hitting us. So it's a speck of light, right? If you're trying to see it, big enough to wipe out a city, will zip harmlessly between Earth and the moon's orbit this weekend, missing both celestial bodies. So it literally is going by between Earth and the moon. So if it's nighttime for some of you, if you have a telescope and you're filming the moon, and it's your time, 4 o'clock Eastern is at night, you'd have to know where to look. Like, right, it's under the moon, right, or between Earth and the moon. So it can go by between Earth and the moon, over the moon. Look like in my visual peripheral that it's going over the moon in the depth, right? But it doesn't mean it won't be seen underneath the moon, because you guys know it. Some of you here, anyways, I've captured some things hitting the moon, but it's not by me filming on the moon. It's by me filming off of the moon. It's a very unpleasant area to film. You don't see anything on the monitor very much. You see just the very edge and light of the moon. But when something comes to hit the moon and you're off with your telescope like that, it's an incredible sight. I was able to capture 5 objects approximately hitting the moon, and to be able to document them. So it's like really close. So Saturday's close encounter will offer astronomers a chance to study a space rock from just over 100,000 miles, which is 168,000 kilometers away. That's really close, and it is closer than the moon. It's less than half the distance from here to the moon, making it visible through binoculars and even small telescopes. Well, while asteroid flybys are common, NASA said it's rare for one so big to come so close, right? But they just said in the post afterwards, same website, it's NASA themselves, that there's no danger and that it's not a rare occasion. But here they say NASA said it's rare for one so big to come so close, but not rare for little slivers to come by. That's what they meant, right? About once a decade. Scientists estimate its size somewhere between 130 feet and 300 feet. So you see the difference a little bit, and they're still talking about 2023 DZ2, but now it went from being 130 feet wide to maybe possibly could be as big as 300 feet. So that's between 40 meters and 90 meters. It was discovered 1 month ago. That's what I wanted to know. So the asteroid will pass within that distance, the moon on Saturday, and several hours later, buzz the Indian Ocean at about 17,500 miles per hour, 28,000 kilometers per second. The Indian Ocean. So those of you that watch my channel that live in the Indian Ocean will, will be able to take a good look at that and find out exactly what is going on. I mean, there's so many things going on, right? Title's discovery of relativistic jets blowing bubbles in the central region of the Teacup Galaxy. I don't really care about that. NASA seeks student ideas for moon landing dust control. This is geez, Bruce, getting old. This is really interesting to me. more and more they are going to talk about the moon. And they're going to talk about different ways of constructing on the moon. You can be sure that teachers in every university across this world are actually, without a doubt, asking certain questions like this. NASA seeks student ideas for moon landing dust control, how to control the dust, right? So, in reality, everything that supposedly NASA does and that they tell us they do, it's all ideas from students. In reality, it's always been, even back in the day, and things like Northrop Grumman company that they've been hiring. I even have a picture here of some astronauts, some even spare astronauts, a real image, and it's people that work from. One of the guys that gave it to me was his niece, that he worked at Northrop Grumman on an Apollo mission back in close to the 70s. He designed the oxygen packs, he said, and for two astronauts, and he said he had a grade 8 education, never went to school, but he was hired to do that on one of the missions. So what are they going to do about the dust? Listen, this is really exciting hearing about that, because for those of you who haven't seen it yet, I've showed what looks like clouds on the moon in my research, right? You've seen that. And it's definitely something flying around in the atmosphere, the lunar atmosphere. Some people say it could be volcanoes. It could be, well, I think that, in theory, just in theory, but some people say, it could be many other things like, swamp gas. Well, very funny. The craters could be exhausting from the interior. And I looked up over, well, especially this year, a lot about that. And it could possibly be, for example, methane that's exhausting from some of the craters, decaying rock. Let me tell you something. That smoke and fumes and or gas that we're seeing on the moon could very well be helium-3. The whole surface of the lunar, um, I'm not going to say sphere because it's egg-shaped, but the moon itself, apparently on the top surface soil, that's where the helium-3 is, and it's 10 feet under the ground. It's the lowest, they say that it goes. So for them to mine it, and again, I mentioned this, I think the stream last week, 25 tons of helium-3, and you stick that in a spacecraft, bring it back, and that will fuel and the energy, electricity, complete cost of energy for 365 days for an entire year for all of the United States of America. Everyone, you know. So if they do that, they could mine the helium-3. So that's why all these different countries are integrating themselves in the program, right? We heard Japan, we hear the UK, the France, India, Israel, lots of people that are joining to be part of this group that's going to mine helium-3 in the goals of making a nuclear reactor to create fusion and fission with helium-3 uniquely, and not what they're using now, right? Like the depleted uranium and whatnot, enriching uranium, because there's no bio waste for helium-3 when it's heated up, when it's burning, and there's absolutely no bio waste. And there's apparently with helium-3, there's no radiation when it's fusioning, right? So that's something they're going to be interested in getting. So now you can only imagine they're going to try to come up with a propulsion system that is designed to work solely on helium-3. They're testing a water propulsion system, a plasma system. Plasma bubbles. There's a couple of people, Salvatore Pius. I don't know if you've heard of him, but I was looking up some people. There's Ning Lee, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and Salvatore Pius or Pius. These people that created many anti-gravity technology systems that actually functioned, that worked, that obviously the American government would have tested many a times. One of them's wound up in China now. One of the physicists, obviously, people like Bob Lazar. What do you think they hire them? Not for their good looks, even though I'm not going to say it. But anyways, Bob Lazar was a nuclear physicist. He was really young, working in one of the bunkers S4 at on the base, a part of Area 51, as he always says. 9 different propulsion types of different UFOs that all work with different propulsion types. Now, they're studying themselves, they're experimenting themselves through dark projects and secret projects in space with the American funding, people's tax-paying dollars, to find out different types of propulsion systems. So when you hear about what they found, those 9 craft that were supposedly too small for humans to step inside, and there were no gadgets or dashboard or anything inside of it. It was more controlled by the person's conscious, the being's conscience itself, him or herself. Or in that case, not him or her, because they don't have any genitals. Another problem. But who says that those 9 different UFOs at the S4 bunker, probably still there, probably a lot more, who says that it's not actually alien, but that they're just trying to back engineer them, right? They're trying to back engineer UFO technology so that they can use their own devices and build their own craft, anti-gravity technology, using anti-gravity technology. So if I'm not mistaken, they probably would have started with drones, right? Because now there's a big talk about hypersonic drones and missiles. Hypersonic missiles, but the plasma bubble, that one interested me. When Salvatore Pius was talking about that, he developed a whole bunch of things in anti-gravity, not just a device. He developed and explained and understood everything that was revolving the anti-gravity techniques and stuff. I've been watching a paper. No, I'm not watching, actually reading a paper recently. And I was hearing a researcher talking about anti-gravity in nature. Apparently, there are some insects and stuff that actually have parts that are like working like anti-gravity and stuff. It's so freaking interesting. It's incredibly interesting when you start diving into it and start learning about everything. It's just crazy. I'm excited with what's coming to the moon, about the moon. It's I want to see them build. Like, I want to see a structure from Earth. I hope they're going to eventually build at least one. It's almost hard to imagine. I mean, worst comes to worst, NASA, build a big tower on Earth side for astronomers and regular, basic astronomers to be able to view the moon and to see some construction on that. That's what they should be teaching kids in school, about real space travel, about bettering our planet, about not contaminating it. Every mission you guys do and go to space, you're polluting the hell out of space. China, Russia, the States, all 3 of you, I'm not going to blame probably Canada too. India, right? They're all starting to launch now. And they're talking about melting glass. So as NASA and industry partners develop new human landing systems, so think of it, this is all being done to find build, what are they going to build the launch pads with? They're trying to find out what they're going to build the bricks with. Like we said, the human blood, but now they're going to be using potatoes and the starch in the potato and salt to be able to form this spacecrete, space concrete that's going to be a lot more solid than the bricks that we have here. So are they eventually going to bring back some moon dust to build buildings here stronger? I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do that. It could be very interesting. So to transport astronauts from lunar orbit to the moon's surface. So NASA industry partners develop new human landing systems to transport astronauts from the lunar orbit to the moon's surface and back as part of Artemis. The agency is asking university students to investigate solutions in one particularly dusty aspect of landing spacecraft on the lunar surface. Well, isn't that interesting? Maybe they're worried now about the fact that when they land, they're not going to see nothing. Think of it. You just put sprinklers on it, dumbasses. It could be worse, depending on the temperature, right? Put sprinklers on it as they go down. These long arms, little robots with sprinklers. I mean, there's a lot of smoke and dust, so they say, that would lift up off the surface if they land. I remember when they say in Apollo 11 landing, the transcripts and everything, where they said, pulling up some dust. We're landing. We're almost there. Pulling up some dust. 100 feet, 50 feet, 40 feet. And then boom, they land on the surface. Then you see the lander with no dust on it whatsoever. It was ever so straight. These are little details. I thought about it afterwards, right? The lander's ever so straight. It's not crooked. It's landed on the surface. It's like it was placed there with a level. The 4 feet, golden feet of the lander were not even in the dust. They were placed over top of the dust. Could you imagine the force underneath of them before impacting and landing? The thrusters underneath lifting up dust and everything. It would have been impossible for them to land. They would have had to depend solely and uniquely on gauges inside, like a jet, whatever, to find out whether they're level or not, the trim and everything. But did they ever even go? I honestly believe that they went to the moon, but not during the Apollo missions. When they said that they were there during Apollo 11, I don't think they were there. I think they experienced flying around in the atmosphere, but maybe not necessarily were able to land on the surface, because they said that they lost the technique and way of going there. There's a transcript, apparently, that was not transcript, sorry, a part of the video, apparently, that was lost due to the radiation of them coming back. Just the camera that they were using, they said it was absolutely impossible with their camera, confirmed by a professional that works at the company for 20 plus years. It was impossible for them to get the images that they got. And at the same time, the person even mentioned, as a photographer, obviously it's true, the f-stop and the placement of the camera gauges and the way it was set in a way where it would show a very refractive surface and blinding surface. Very scary thought, because it could actually mean that they deliberately showed a blinding surface, that they set up the camera so that they could not see very much, not, film too far away from the lander so that it wouldn't want to see any like Nevada mountains or anything in the background, right? NASA's new Human Lander Challenge invites college students to explore ways to manage or prevent the cloud of dust a spacecraft stirs up when using rocket engines to land on unprepared surfaces like the moon. This effect is called plume surface interaction and can increase risks caused by lunar dust on future human missions. The moon is covered with granular rocky material. That's what they say, right? Which is regolith, by the way. The regolith itself can be lifted from the surface by rocket engines during landing and ascent. Understanding and reducing these effects are key challenges. Don't forget, challenges for NASA to overcome for safe lunar surface access. I think it's very important for you to take that in mind, that NASA, like it was the first time, saying understanding and reducing these effects are key challenges. They have challenges they've not overcome yet, for NASA to overcome for safe lunar surface access. Okay. So maybe they don't have the proper way. They don't know the proper way to go to the surface of the moon. Maybe some secret projects were done with the Pentagon and whatnot, some secret astronauts, but maybe NASA didn't take part in that, or they did, but the people that were doing secret projects for NASA just didn't bring that information back to people working at NASA now. So it can be lifted up the surface by rocket engines during landing and ascent. So Um, Principal investigator for plume surface interaction. NASA's Langley Research Center, that we hear a lot about, in Hampton, Virginia. Besides creating a more challenging landing environment, disturbed lunar dust also can damage other assets NASA plans to establish on the moon's surface, like habitats, mobility systems, scientific experiments, and other critical infrastructure. To establish a long term human presence on and around the moon for the benefit of humanity, NASA must address the challenges lunar dust presents to these complex missions. This is where the Artemis generation of problem solvers may be able to help. For the challenge, NASA is asking undergraduate and or graduate students from accredited colleges and universities in the United States to help tackle the challenges of plumes and lunar dust by seeking innovative systems level solutions to minimize and manage the impacts on future lunar exploration systems. Potential solutions might include development of dust shields, creating flight instrumentation dedicated to managing, like I said, like in the planes, managing plume surface interactions, finding ways to see through the dust cloud. You could ask Bruce about that. I know all about looking through dust clouds during landing, or tracking dust during ascent and descent. I'll tell you what, on a windy day, all they have to do is go land on the moon when it's not windy, or when it is windy. Maybe the wind will push away all the dust, right? So there's another thing that I would suggest to them is to come in against the wind. So that way, in your descent, as you're descending and going forward to descend, the plume of smoke or ash will be at the back of your descent, as to compared to just coming down straight down. As a matter of fact, it's Japan or China, I think it is Japan, that is or was or will test a descent. I think they did that at the first Artemis program launch, right? There's a couple, 2 or 3 launches. The first Artemis one, when they went to the base center of the solar system and had all those experiments and tests, there was also a plasma propelled system from the Pentagon that we're talking about. And Japan was supposed to land a spacecraft on the moon. But the way they're going to land that spacecraft on the moon is coming in sideways, to test a different way of approaching the surface. It looks to me like the first time of them actually wanting to go to the moon for the first time, right? They were warded off the moon during a secret project, many say, or were they just smart enough not to land? If I can see structures from here, for Pete's sakes, they're obviously not going to land on the surface. How many astronauts did you hear talk about lights on the surface that did not look natural? Plasma bubble. There's talk about that now. Some leaked information coming out about a plasma bubble around a craft. Well, you know those lights that I filmed, and the one that came right down to the house, literally, that created this beautiful star-like shape. Who says that it's not in a plasma bubble that these objects are traveling to and from? They're starting to talk and open up more about it. So, anyways, it remains very, very interesting. Hello, Karen. Gonna have to scroll down, probably miss a lot of people. Dalek, William Shatner rode Blue Origin to space. You're absolutely right, my friend. His was able to go up, though, eh? You're right about that. He went to space, and I'd said a joke about that. I could just see him. If I was William Shatner, and he is a funny guy, while he was rising up into the New Shepard in the Blue Origin spacecraft, do any of you think that he would have just started saying space, the final frontier? Do, 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 do. It would have been funny. Anyways, that's what I would have done. Good evening to you. FBI hasn't showed up yet, so I think I'm all good. Hey, keep it up. Keep it up. Hope things are dry now. Guys, like, what are you talking about? I hope things are dry. Just being an ass. Ismail Flores, thank you very much. What day and time? If you're talking about the asteroid, my friend, now you know. March 25th, 3:51 EDT time. And 12 hours before and 16 hours afterwards, we should be able to see, or 16 before and 18 after. And it should be going over mid-Michigan. And I'm pretty sure that they have no idea where it's going to go. Eastward in Eden, beautiful name, Bruce. Are your skies clear now? Right now, I'd have to check. I don't think they are. They weren't before. If they are, I am definitely going out, though, to film. Who knows? Might even see a sign of that asteroid 12, 18 hours before. So that means in no time it should start appearing in the sky. And when I say appearing in the sky, usually asteroids are seen this big because they pass by far enough from Earth. But now I fear that, I hope it should be about that big. I'm cussing the asteroid. They're covering our skies with bad cloud cover. What they doing up there? You got to wonder. Sugar Bee in the house. Now I am just going to scroll all the way down. Bruce, I'm serious. Go by. I'm serious. Go by the Zycam. They dissolve in your mouth. Orange flavor, instant relief. No, man, I thank you. I have to write that down, though. Zycam. Never heard of it. Reed and clove. Or need and clove. And Zycam. Thank you very much, sir. It's not bad. I'm controlling it, though. It's actually going away by itself, actually. That's how strong my mind is. Gerardo Penna Jr., thank you very much. Graded on the spot. Can you catch the planets for us on the 27th? Love to see them better. I can try. I have to get better equipment, though. Honestly. Surprising, a 14-inch telescope, eh? You're just sitting there looking at a tiny ass little bloody star. But I did get a good shot of Saturn at one point a couple of years ago. Oh my God, you got to look at my video of Saturn. Wow, beautiful. Looks just like NASA shows Saturn, except further away, a little bit, a lot. Lady Rose, readings. Hi, Bruce. I haven't seen you live in a while. Well, thanks for coming back. Thank you very much. I stream Mondays, I stream Wednesdays, and I stream Fridays now. So you guys will have better chance of getting a chance to see me. Made it past the first hour. Why doesn't the sun light up space? I would say it does, my friend. The sun extends its light as far as the heliosphere goes, and at the end of that sunlight, where that sunlight stops, that's where they say the interstellar space begins. And I heard, not just through the grapevines, but the professionals are speaking out. Actually, I had to look it up in a forum. Some incredible information that actually space is very bright and it's not cold. They say there are cold regions in our universe and regions that the space is colder. But like we see in the movies with the helmet, that's when the visor lifts up and you see the eyes explode and the face freezes up. That's not real. That is not real at all. And it's weird though, right? Because we have that darkness around us. That's the hard part to understand. But you know what? Maybe that darkness that's all around us that we see in space, because don't forget, space is very bright. It's blinding. You could imagine taking off right now to go to the sun. It's going to be blinding the whole way there, right? And way before we get there, it's going to become ridiculously blinding with white light, not being able to see anything. You'd need some tinted goggles like these guys. or those things. But why doesn't the sun light up space? In reality, constellation of Lyra is filled with suns. I've taken an incredible image of the constellation of Lyra. I'm sure you guys would be really surprised seeing that image. I show all the suns. It's filled with just suns. And that's how I started testing some of the things that NASA was saying to see if it was real. And I was able to at least confirm in 216 and 217 that, yeah, it's real. The images that they show of space, where you see all these galaxies and quasars and pulsars and you know, the fast radio burst and these long lines of light coming out of these black holes, you can actually really see them and perceive them in the images. But I would say that, you know, the sun is definitely um, lighting up all of space. But what is it with that darkness? Are we close to a giant, ginormous black hole, or a black hole is ever so far away, millions of light years away from us, but it's so big that when the sun goes around Earth, the dark side of Earth just sees this heavy, black, thick black hole. It could be that, you know, that or we're stuck in this crater. And when the sun goes past the crater, it creates a shadow and it's dark in the crater. Maybe we're stuck on the moon ourselves, you know. Skywise, it's my big pleasure, honestly. Moving north from Florida, it's too hot here now. Yeah, it's coming like a volcano now, man. That's another thing. Things are changing. Maybe best bet. I assume what North Carolina, that should be not so bad. And I think now even them are getting temperatures up though. I had a chance once in my lifetime to go down south, well, twice, but it was around the same time with my mother after my dad died. I was able to visit Dominican Republic once, but my first trip was we drove down to Florida, Cocoa Beach, and went down. Um, I'm telling you guys, if you want to come down this way, it's Christmas trees all the way to North Carolina for you guys. I mean, it was Christmas trees here on the highway the whole friggin' way down. And then we got into Florida, started seeing some palm trees. I remember asking my mother, "Where are all the orange fields?" You know, when you never traveled, everything. I know they have oranges there, but yeah. You tubular, thanks a lot, for being here. Hey, thanks for asking, man. I speak English and French perfectly because I'm in Quebec. So obviously, there's two languages here that most of us know. I study Spanish because I have a Spanish channel. I'm studying UFO terms in Spanish, but as for the languages that I speak well, it's just English and French. I have an interest for a lot of other languages, but I can't say that I speak more than the two languages. I'll speak some Greek. I'll speak a little bit of a lot of little languages, but Spanish. This 2022, I started investing a little bit more time to try to understand it. It's a beautiful language, and my goal is to reach some people. So, have an English channel, a French channel for those of you that don't know, and I also have a Spanish channel. So, if you have Spanish speaking friends that have never seen this research or they can't speak English, it's a good way to share out the links. Hey, Darla. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right about that. Scott Lee, Agog in the house. Agog in the house. Hello, humans. Thank you very much. Did you drop the M? There's certain words, that we go by. Magog is also in the Bible, if I'm not mistaken, right? Am I losing it in the doctrines? Magog was also the name of President Bush, if I'm not mistaken. Magog was a code name, right? Name that we hear a lot. But when it comes to researching everything, now this is my 7th year, almost completed. In August would be 7 years completed. And I'm telling you, everything that I've been seeing that they're talking about over the years, they're really going to bring it all out, but there's certain words and terms, and like people don't go as far as finding out about the New World Order. They can know a bit about um, the wars and stuff, but not everybody does the research on the secret societies and find out about the Masons. And then you go further back, and it's just more confusing. Where you got the Illuminatis and the Order of Christ and Rosicrucians. It all comes to Freemasons. Or how come it's free? What's a Freemason? What do you mean Mason and the Freemasons? Masons are ruling the world. Well, I have a neighbor that's a Mason, and he's not a bad person. So, I think it's actually the first time this year people start talking about it online. People say that Jews are running the world. Yes, okay, but it's not all the Jews. And you can't put them all in the same boat. The same thing with the Muslim terrorists that came to certain countries. It's not because Muslim are terrorists. It's because someone in the Muslim religion declared to become terrorists. And then, people often say, oh, the Muslims. And so we all put them in the same boat. I respect that. I don't put everyone in the same boat. That's like when I talk about China, I mention it's the government, the CCP. It's not the people. As for Ukraine and Russia, innocent people in Ukraine, innocent people in Russia. But the ones running the show, Vladimir and Vladimir, they're the ones that are causing the problems, right? And really touchy situation. But in reality, there's some that I do want to see Putin do because of the way Ukraine is being run and by who it's being run. It's actually the elites right now. So the war is actually the elites against the good. I'll just say, I won't name which one is which. You guys can make your own decisions. That's why people often fight, because people will hear somebody say something. Why do you say that about Trump? Why do you say that about Biden? Why do you say that about... Not everyone knows all the information that's out there. There's lots of information that people can look up. There's lots of lies out there too. Where are all these asteroids coming from all of a sudden? You said it, Scott. Where are they coming from all of a sudden? If there was a big explosion in interstellar space and some of these pieces are directed towards us, it's inevitable. Look at the pieces over California, guys. 9 orbs, okay, almost flying in formation. A whole bunch of different orbs came in and crashed onto Earth. They say that's debris. Really? Seriously? 9 large pieces are going to come into the Earth's atmosphere and burn up? Southern Ontario. In Southern Ontario, Niagara on the lake, if I'm not mistaken, or Niagara, near Niagara Falls. There's 2 or 3 meteors that hit the ground. So they became meteorites. And surprisingly, a team rushed there to see what had happened. When did we hear about a meteor hitting Earth before that? You're all going to remember in Russia. In Russia, it came in, it lit up the sky. Beautiful sky came in from the left and came downwards, right? And we saw that. So that's when it started, right, Scott Lee? Because have you noticed, guys, the asteroids that they're naming one after the other, they're all labeled 2022, 2023. These are new asteroids that are coming into the solar system. 10 new massive celestial objects in the solar system. I hope you all know. I know most of you do here, but not everybody knows that. They talk about the 10th planet. Some people are still at 8 planets. They say that Pluto is not a planet. Many reasons for that, because Pluto's on the outskirts of the solar system, because Pluto was more of ice, for example, than physical matter. Whatever the reason, we hear people fighting. It's a planet. It's definitely planet size too. David, thank you so much, kind sir. Love you and your insight. Thanks, man, for appreciating it, bro. I love you, man. Look forward to your skies clearing up for more of your awesome telescope views. Yes, and I promise the moon is back out, and we're going to be able to get a nice view of the moon as soon as I can. There's also the infrared cameras. I want to go back outside and to be able to see the UFOs. Obviously, I got some good videos. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate that. Hey, Mr. Peter Benton. Thanks so much, you guys. Hi, Bruce and all. Link to come on tonight or no? Oh, man. Tonight? No, I don't think we're going to do anything tonight, will we? Or you want to come on tonight? What? Rusted Trust. So much shit that I have to say. Rusted Trust. NW, recovering from surgery, because then everyone's going to want to come on, but we can schedule like ahead of time for sure. Even on yours, I was supposed to go on at one point. If you start streaming, that'd be pretty cool. NW, recovering from surgery. Glad to see Bruce on. I'm bored out of my mind. NW, I love hearing that. Happy to see that you're recovering from surgery. Hope you're doing well. And we missed you. Listen, thanks, NW, for coming in to check out the channel. Maybe I'll do a stream this weekend. What do you think? Greetings from the beautiful Rogue Valley. Only reason why is because my mouth is so sore. I don't know if I'm going to stay on for much longer than maybe 40 minutes, man. Is Gate Smasher here? Hello, Mr. Gate Smasher. I had an orb hover, says Big-Headed Martian. Thanks for coming back, man. I had an orb hover over me. It was big as 5 or 6 basketballs. It had 4 rings to it. First ring was spinning counterclockwise. Well, and you know what? I'll have you on, Peter, but not many other people on tonight, though. But I can have you on. Get ready, get yourself a drink or whatever you got to do. Start setting up, and I'll post a link. We can talk for like 40 minutes or something like that. And you're going to maybe get a chance to talk this time. So that's why I'm thinking of just having you on right now. Mano to mano. What do you think of that, Peter? Are you feeling the tension? The second ring was spinning clockwise. The third ring was spinning counterclockwise. The fourth ring was solid with a being inside of it. So many people saw some things in their lifetimes, and me, I think they're all beautiful. When I hear you guys come here and tell me these stories, I know that you're telling that story. It's not a story you probably tell in everywhere, but happy that you know that some people here do definitely appreciate that. Was sparkling like a sparkler on top of it. That I have seen before. Pleiadians say it's a ship with supplies. Ah, yes. Ghost Hunter, thanks for coming by. Could be, Norma C. We've seen a lot of sabotage before, without a doubt. Opus, right on. Hello to you, Norma C. Michael E. Burns is in the house. Steel balls. That's what's flying around. Steel balls lit up with some type of force field, maybe, or whatnot. Sounds good. Funny you say about me streaming, because I have been. Why they keeping this info from us? Yeah, absolutely, man. If you have been, well, let me know, because I'll be checking out the streams for sure, man. I'll be able to post that link in a second here. Yes, we do. Exactly. Thanks, man. Thanks, Peter. Yeah, we do both know, man. Definitely. You can exactly come on, have a good talk about that. Hey, thank you very much. Gabber Beast is here. Hey, Louis Pepin. Merci, mon frère. Thanks, man, for coming in. Appreciate that. Gate Smashers in the house. Make love to that like button and poke it, guys. Flick it. Flick the like button. As a matter of fact, if you want to really go all out and like it twice, you can like, dislike, and then re-like. Rob Litz, yo, thanks a lot for coming by. Ruth Kelly, I thank you very much for that. And I thank you, each and every one of you who took the time to become a member here. Everybody, thank you so much. I just did hit the 69 like. Oh, yes, the 69. That's the best like of them all. 108,000 yards away. Oops. I guess we made a mistake. Watch how close. Oh, yeah, exactly, His Highness. And that's basically what it comes down to, that they could have made a mistake on how close it's going to be. I'm in Michigan and hoping for clear skies enough to possibly catch what I can. As of 2:33, start looking in the sky. It's daytime, unfortunately. But We will still see it afterwards. You know what that means? You'll see it whiz by. 10 hours later, we might see it whiz by the other way. It's going through space, right? And for whatever the reason, space is fucked up like that. It's like it looks like it's winding left and right, the same way they actually go to the moon. So let me get that link up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Very bloody are. Thank you for coming in, everybody. Lucasty. Thanks for coming in. We have Melanie Varin. Thank you very much. It's time to say, let's go, Brandon. Yeah, well, let's go, Brandon. You know what? As a matter of fact, next stream, I will take out my Let's Go, Brandon flag. He's 2 hours away from me. Biden, I can I was going to say, Kath F, actually, it might leave a great twisted tall tail behind it. Yes, sometimes that happens. Absolutely. When they go by the sun, especially. Good day to you, Wild Wallaby. Thank you very much, you guys. Melanie, merci. Thank you so much for that. And I'm speaking French, sorry. I see the accent, and Varin. It's a name that I'm very familiar with around here, too. Thank you for your service, Bruce. Don't ever give up. We the people love you so much. Where we go one, we go all. God bless. I thank you so much for that. I love you, Melanie. And I hope you guys keep coming back for more videos. I find a lot of things on this channel. Is Dwayne here? Hello, Dwayne. Tommy Langley in the house. Thank you very much, man. The Great Awakening has come. It really has. Oh, yes. People are waking up, Melanie. Thanks for being here, Melanie. The Lazarus Project. Hello, sir. Christina Faith is here. As far as I knew, there was already a man living there. I believe it. I agree with that, Christina. Thanks for coming by. I agree with that 100%. Julie Stats, thank you so much, Julie. Wow, you guys. Thank you. Flick it. Thumbs up. Thank you for all your support to our beloved Moon Master. You know, my head gets big when you say that. This starts. It's fun to save up to visit us in Florida and go to launch. Well, I'll tell you what. Plane's obviously going to crash because I really screw up devices, but it would be interesting if you're sitting there waiting for Bruce to land and you see this smoky plane come down and hit Cocoa Beach or wherever the hell I would probably hit. But I'll tell you what, there's some good news, Julie. There was a visit today from Biden. There was nothing good with that. But Trudeau, as much as I hate him, did ask something about, yes, sir, Peter.
I really screw up devices, but it would be interesting if.
How's it going, man?
They're waiting for.
Hold on, guys. Let me just turn.
Come down.
Yeah, no problem. You can.
I'm doing well, guys. Hold on.
Tell you what, some good news.
There's a delay as well.
Yeah,
there was a visit today from
you
Biden.
can X the YouTube X and just leave the
something about.
Just leave the StreamYard link open. Right on.
Yeah. Why ain't it turning?
That's Bruce. If I go further away, you watch. If I go away, if I put my hand there, it'll fix itself. Maybe. There you go. No, almost. Okay, you turn the camera that way. Why not?
I'm watching myself on the TV, walking away from like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, that's the late thing. Hey, Julie, I was saying, Peter, I'm just getting this in while we're setting up. Julie, there's Trudeau asked Biden to permit Canadians that are not V'd to be able to enter the country, because Americans that are not V'd, like unvaxxed, they can come into Canada, no problem. Did you know that? But we're not allowed going into the States. And they're asking to change that because apparently there are millions of Canadians that usually go to the States. Lots of Canadians that go to the States that don't go because, they're not V'd. So that's something that they should absolutely change so that I can see some launches. There we go. Yeah.
That's better, Bruce.
There we go. Now we're talking. Damn right, man. How are you and Kelly doing?
Great, man. We've just been to a meal with our Midlands Paranormal Investigators group. Because we
Really?
missed Christmas, we missed the Christmas meal. We decided to do a Christmas meal tonight and do like a secret Santa thing where we both buy presents for each other just on the cheap.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, it was good. It was good.
It's cool. I've done that before, but with joke gifts. I mean, I don't know if you're like me. I like gag gifts.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's
some of them are,
exactly what happened.
well, it's fun, right? At a party, some silly gifts. Sometimes there's some pretty eccentric gifts. I mean, this one I got I don't know if you saw that, Peter, a camera lens, man. It's a coffee cup.
Wow,
Susan Ravella sent it to me. I thought it was really cool. It's got the cover, which is a lens. Somebody could actually hide their weed in that, leave it in the
that's
car.
neat. That is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, or hide
In
your.
fact, I think I remember you mentioning that in one of the streams
It
before.
could be, yeah, because
Yeah,
she just sent it. I thought it was really cool.
yeah,
It was a thoughtful gift.
yeah.
So, how's that snow? How's the weather in your end?
It's all over the place. Like today,
Up and down, eh?
I don't know if you've been. I don't know if you've noticed. I know loads of other people have because thank you, by the way. I went out to Birmingham's Wildlife Conservation Park with Kelly for something to do while I've got my week off. Um, and if you look at the first video on the way there, the weather's kind of like few clouds, blue sky. But on the video on the way back, everything's all messed up and it's great. It's just amazing how it can go from one extreme to another in a matter of just a few hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like that around the world. It's changing, quick changing. The
Yeah.
tornadoes in California. You see that one? A rare tornado,
Yes.
middle of
Yes,
the
I did.
day.
Yeah.
It starts up. High winds. The winds went up to 90 miles an hour. I think something like all of a sudden, like instantaneously. Usually, we see those clouds forming. The weather will say prepare for a strong storm front to come around. But now it's like boom. All of a sudden, there's a hurricane. I mean, it's more unpredictable, I guess, right? Things are just like basically impossible to predict. That's how it is.
Like
Evelyn,
all these it's like all these earthquakes and that popping off everywhere.
that's a scary thing. Hey, you know I am Kai channel?
Yeah, yeah. I know.
Well, I am, yeah, Kai sent me a video quite a while back when Tonga eruption, when they said the volcanic eruption happened in the bottom of the ocean and it sent out a um, giant explosion out with the sonic boom, afterwards. He
Yeah,
sent me a video and you could see a bloody ballistic missile
you
coming from
do.
the right,
Yeah,
really friggin' fast, and it goes
yeah.
and then you see that incredible. That's scary stuff. But could they be doing that for the weather? Like, I mean, are they doing that to block out the sun? Are these all experiments and tests? I'm pretty sure some of the things that we're seeing, it has to do not just with natural phenomena, and why I say that's because the cloud went up into the stratosphere.
I was going to say, you saw the size of that plume, didn't you?
Oh, it was, yeah, and it went up really high. Like it went up, and you saw it went up to the first layer, and then went into the stratosphere, and
Yeah,
that went around the world, parts of the world, and it's got a lot of rain,
yeah.
and it changes the weather. So I didn't think Earth was that sensitive because it is, right? Like if I don't know, we do. You and I are mastermind alien geniuses. We're here on the planet, and from your house to my house, we're gonna create a cloud that's as wide as America and like 6 times the length of America to get to you. But in reality, that would change the entire weather system around the world. I didn't think that happened. So if there's a part of the world where there's no more sun because of whatever reason, because there's too many storms, or there's, that could really devastate and like a domino effect, change the friggin' weather on top of the sun that's amplifying everything up. Even today,
Oh, for sure, for sure.
the sun was horrible today. I was looking at it today.
I miss the sun. I caught it a few days ago, and I noticed them spots you was on about in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed them, and I thought they look like they're going to send some our way because they're right at the bottom, ain't they? Or at least they was when I filmed them. Just coming
It,
over, two of them.
yeah. Right. They're
Yeah,
announcing more snow for us here. We're supposed to get snow this weekend.
more snow.
Yeah, more 10, 15
Really?
centimeters and 30 in the more in the northern part of Quebec. I mean, as for accumulations, they're pretty similar to the years before, but it's the way it happened. Like I didn't get snow till January 17th here. And usually I get it way before that, at least 4 or 5 weeks before that, at least 4 weeks. And when the snow started falling, it was one storm. I think I waited till the end of February, but then when it fell, I have the same quantity of snow that I have every year, but it's like it didn't snow for 2 months. You know, I mean, here where I am, I mean, we're 3 seasons in winter. There's 3 seasons that could be snow here. Only one season we have of the summer, and holy crap, it goes by fast. We're
Yeah,
already we're already in March now. April's coming along already going into April. So May for 8 weeks, and we'll be into the June weather, and then it just jumps from June to August. It does it every year for me, and depending on if we have a week or 2 weeks of rain in the summer, it destroys the camping for everyone that wants to go camping because 2 weeks of rain in the summer. And I'm expecting this summer it's going to be rain all the time. And remember last year, it would rain, then we would get like 10 minutes of rain, and then it would get really hot. The clouds would go away, and the sun would come out. Then it would rain again. But like you were saying, the jumping around of the different weather systems that are changing ever so quickly. I'm seeing that more and more of a fast uh, difference in when the weather occurs. You know, winds coming from different angles. Also, it's incredible. Just it's jumping all over the place.
have you ever watched the sky, Bruce, long enough to actually see the clouds change direction?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I have.
you
Yeah,
have done that. I've
yes, I
always
have.
wanted to do that, you see.
It took me a long time. I can't even tell you that I've seen it more than 3 times for real,
Really?
because like you said, it's actually taking the time to observe it. So obviously I was outside from 6 a.m. to about like 10 o'clock at night. And yeah, I had time to see twice during the day that the clouds change trajectory. But have you noticed that the clouds are coming from different angles that you've never
Yes.
seen before? Yeah.
Yeah.
This year especially. It marked me because I'm looking at the weather map, satellite weather map on my weather station, and it's telling me I could see coming down from North Pole this wind, and that's when that polar vortex broke and brought down cold weather to the States and Canada. I think even the UK, you guys even got cold weather, I think, around that time.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I can't remember who it was. It was one of the ladies in in the community. I can't remember if it was Lisa B, Krista Lindsay. Hmm. But one of the ladies said to me anyway a few weeks ago, because I was mentioning coming home from work on one of my afternoon shifts, and I happened to notice turning round and looking up just before I popped in. It was freezing cold, and I did contemplate on pulling my phone out to quickly film it because of what I saw. But I was too cold, and I just wanted to get in, and I do regret it to this day. But when I turned round, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, Bruce, because there was these clouds. But I swear to God, I thought they were going to bellow down on me because they were really low. They were tumbling, slowly tumbling, and the thing that stood out was they was glowing. Obviously, from the light pollution, but it's the way they were so low and they were lit up so bright, like big, bright, fluffy clouds rolling.
Right.
And yeah, it was really strange stuff.
Imagine that. I'm checking
Yeah,
out.
there was in lines as well, like big plumes in lines coming from a northwest direction. Really strange, really
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
strange.
I'm trying to make you full screen. I don't know how come it's not changing. I was trying to put you on full screen, picture in picture layout. When I click, it only makes me big. but it's
I
the
was
opposite.
doing it. I was messing about like this a few nights ago when I had Joel Burgess on, because I done that Streamlabs thing you and your brother told me to do. I've sorted it all out now.
Yeah. So how do you like the streaming?
It's wicked.
I love streaming, man. I
Yeah.
tell you, and don't be surprised or even insulted if you're streaming for the longest time and you got 3 to 10 people watching. When I started my channel, man, that's all it was for the first year. There was nobody here. There was nobody coming to the channel. Then it went up to 50 watching, and look now, there's 125 watching, and I never, never really go up much over that 100 people, even with interesting subjects, But it's fun. It's fun streaming. I think for me, I have more fun watching YouTube and people stream than I do watching television shows and stuff like that. I just don't do it anymore. I don't have cable here. I have the internet that I've been using for everything, for the news. And when you know where to look, you can find your information. People that watch television, you can watch it on YouTube. You can watch Fox News on YouTube. You can watch anything, they're all there. Even the liars are there, CNN, and that's man. There's a lot of talk now with the UFOs that's coming out from the inside. I don't know if it's how can I say it? Well, did you hear about the recent attack from Syria? The States, an American base was attacked. There was an American civilian that lost his life, and they sent 10 to 12 rockets.
No.
And I found out that there's over 900 American soldiers left in Syria. And I was like, well, what the hell are they doing there? Apparently, they're still trying to control ISIS and certain territories. Like they go hide in the mountains, then they come out to attack, So they were interviewing at the Pentagon today, and they were asking, well, what's going to happen? I'm worried about the States being at war with Russia and being at war now again in Syria. I mean, what the hell's that? What's going to happen?
It's that fine line now, isn't it, Bruce?
It is.
Yeah.
Right? You have Russia. What's Russia doing? Russia started doing a whole bunch of connecting with North Korea. They connected with China, Iran, and all that. So I can see that half of the globe is trying to connect to become one force, and another side of the globe with NATO. Nothing ever good about that. That NATO countries, they're in charge of all the countries, right? NATO. Something happens here in Canada. There's protests. Look at the UN, United Nations, came down here for our bloody protests. So I was like blown away by that. And I guess I can bring another one on. Last
Who's
call.
popping on?
Gabber Beast.
Oh, Gabba, bro.
There he is.
Yes, Gabba.
I just wanted to quickly tell you something important, but after you finish, I don't want to be
No, go ahead, man. You have the floor. You have the floor.
All right. I just uploaded a new video. You have to check it. You have to check it out. What happened was I got the tarot reading live on YouTube.
Sorry.
And I asked, aliens inside the moon? You'd be blown away.
You're gonna want to listen to this, Bruce.
Blown away. I was blown away, and it explains a lot of stuff you said.
Yeah.
Feel free to play it on your stream if you want to share it. You can share my stuff. I don't mind.
Right.
Bruce, please see this, man.
What happened was I met her from Truth Seekers, Stephen Campion show Truth Seekers. I'm always on there. I jump on AMAs and stuff. We're all friends and that. We I help him research a lot of stuff too. I give him stuff to put on the show, and I just subbed to her because she was on there, and she went live. So I went to have a look to see what she's doing, and I just typed hello in chat, and they put me on the waiting list. You got to ask a question, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't want to ask a question. what do I ask? So I asked, are aliens on the moon? Are aliens on the moon? I'm going to ask a question for Bruce. Bruce wants to know, you know?
Right.
I said, are aliens on the moon? Like me and my astronomer friends, we're amateur astronomers. We got pictures of geometric structures on the moon all the time and UFOs on near around the moon, going in and out of craters, doing stuff. I just want to know, are aliens on the moon? And so she shuffled the cards, and the first card that came out odd to the side, and she was like, oh, yes, they are on the moon. I was like, what? Really? And then she kept shuffling the cards and doing more. And she goes, yep, they're definitely on the moon. Definitely on the moon. They're up there. There's lots of them. They're inside the moon. There's humans there too. Wait for it.
Tell him about the deal.
It relates to something you say, Bruce. It relates. You know how you say there could be prisons on the moon? You know how you say that these buildings could be like a prison?
Right.
She said there's humans on the moon, but they're all most of them are slaves. That made me think about what you said. If you were a slave on the moon to humans or beings or whatever, whoever's enslaved you, you would be in a prison basically. And that was what you referred to that, saying, I think you were just like very, very close when you mentioned, when you were talking about your videos and the structures going, these could be prisons.
We all fall close to the real truth, right? When we're talking about theories, any Tom, Dick, and Harry can come up really close to exactly what's going on, and NASA does not want that to happen. Peter, go ahead.
Oh, did you manage to get that bit in? Because like when he was doing the tarot thing, she said they've been trying to do a deal with the aliens, but they won't budge. They're not listening.
Oh, you've seen my video. You've seen my video.
I've seen it, bro. I only just caught it halfway in when she was talking about, there are aliens, but I didn't.
I'll drop it in the chat in case anyone wants to have a look at it.
Mate, it is epic, man. I'm glad you did that. I'm really glad you did that.
Absolutely.
I swear, it's really what she had to say. I was like, whoa, you know what? Bruce is on the nose then. If this woman's not fully legit, Bruce is on the nose.
She sounded so cluey, and everything you said related to all the work and all your, like, when you would think about what could be this or what could be that on the moon, it just all clicked. And like she even got the Lemurian deck out. Goes, I got to do this with the Lemurian deck, and did another deck on top. And she was just like, they were trying to do a deal with the negative beings on there to get rid of them, because they're on there and they've been tormenting the humans for a very long time.
Yeah,
and
that sounds about right.
They're trying to get them out of the moon, but they don't want to. They want to be part of the deal. So something's going to happen to get them out of the moon, or something big's going to happen very soon.
I think so.
In the future somewhere. And she said some amazing things that just made me think of you. Every time she said something, I was like, oh my God, Bruce was talking about that like 18 months ago. Like Bruce is on the ball quicker than these people.
Well, it's because I'm always focused on that. Like you know, if you're focusing on the moon, you can very easily sit down and someone will say, well, what about the theory about Anunnaki? Okay, well, we can jump into that, or we can jump into the breakaway civilization theory, or, you know, the fact that there's humans or aliens. I mean, for me, that's something pretty logical.
They're pushing hard. The UFO cult people now are pushing hard the Anunnaki theories right now, but they're just theories. They don't really have proof. They're just stories from ancient times that have been, translated absolutely. Now, but we don't speak that language from the ancient times. So how do you get an accurate translation? I'm sort of very wary on it. Very, very wary. They might be spot on, or they could be just off on a tangent. Like without proof, we can't really tell, you know?
Yeah, because sometimes some of the theories, even if it's impossible based on laws of physics, sometimes theories, just stories or ideas. Exactly. People are so interested in the theories that people say, and sometimes it could be not true at all, but just the belief, the idea of an idea that could be possible, because anything's possible based on, you know, the fact that I said it last stream where we we can do anything, we can build anything, we can transform like we want, but we do it through chemicals and elements that are toxic.
Exactly.
We
Exactly.
you know, and
I
now
understand. I understand that.
we're in the dump now. I mean, the nuclear, the radiation levels, and they're not telling us about half of what's going on. And there's a lot that they don't know. There's just a lot that they don't know. They can't know it. It's nature, and there's some phenomena that occurs on our Earth that has never been seen before, or it has, but it's from this
Our
long
science
cycle.
can't explain it. Our science
right.
can't explain a lot of those phenomena.
That's right. So who made the science? You got to think of it's like back in the days, I think they were more advanced in the science because we're basing our interpretations.
2000%. 2000%. We're primitive compared to what we used to have. We just got wiped out in wars or planet-wide extinction events. Something happened.
That's how I see it.
Or we moved off planet, or we just
every 50 years to 100 years to 300 years. Well, there's a big not embassy, but a dynasty or the Egyptian gods and pharaohs. They create this big realm. They rule, and then
they run the planet. They're on the planet from their little little kingdom. There's a kingdom that always runs everything,
and they keep their bloodlines there. So these buggers in other generations, telephone. Keep talking, you guys.
The MIB. We're telling too much information. The MIB is like, Bruce, like tone it down a bit. Start talking about lunar waves or something. Like throw them off a little bit.
Mate, I'm really glad you did that. I'm really glad you did that.
She's part of the community. She's Stephen Cambion's friend. I thought I'd show my support in that, and she loved my question. She's like, Gabba Beast TV. Like, if you think of any more questions like this, come back and ask them. I'm like, I got a dozen questions like that. I'm going to keep you shuffling for hours.
My son calling me to say hello. Says, hey, Dad, I'm calling to bug you.
G'day, Bruce's son.
Yeah, he was probably listening.
My dad's a YouTube star. He goes to his friends. My dad's a YouTube star, bro.
Big star. Poor kid. I mean, when I started driving buses at the end, it was just his last years that he was in school, and I was actually driving at the school where he was. So there was a couple of times he got in the bus, and like he's always been respectful to me, as from son to dad. But you could tell that it was a weird situation, having your dad on the bus with all the guys, or I mean, if your dad was a dweeb.
Oh, you drove your kids' school bus to school.
Yep, and I told him yeah, exactly.
He couldn't muck up. He couldn't muck up on the bus. Like, no, my dad will beat me up. I'm not playing with you guys.
No, so he was a good kid. He's a good kid in the bus, But in reality, having his dad driving him around. I'm coughing again. I started coughing again a couple days ago, Craig.
Bruce, I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah, man.
Now that I just remembered it, what got you into astronomy? Why did you go and buy a large telescope for? Like, why did you do this?
Man. I was into photography, but before that, I had a lot of things that I saw. When my dad died, I started seeing shadows and stuff. I started,
Shadowlands.
Yeah,
I get that. When my brother died, Shadowlands all the time.
Yeah, because I believe
my pets die. Shadowlands with rainbows. I'm like, how'd the rainbows get into Shadowlands?
Well, there's a connection, Because
I understand that.
When something like that happens, it kind of rocks you down. So they try to get in there while you're down, or you're weak,
Well, that's another thing. Like the when Gabber Beast was saying, they're there to always that negative energy on us and draining us, but the dreams that we go through and the subconscious thoughts.
Yeah, they try to drain our energy by making you scared of them, using fear and try and make you scared and fear and shock and terror. And if you just like no,
when I confronted the devil,
get out of here, or show love, they can't do it. They can't do anything. They just run.
True.
They run.
When I confronted the devil for real, like where I said to myself, well, I hope that these things that I'm seeing are not negative, just an extra protection I did. I visualize, just energy around me. I communicate with God or a God or the energy of the universe, whatever your interpretation of God is. As many
Super Saiyan.
Exactly, exactly. But I've always had the feeling of energy, but I said I have to protect myself if there's some bad energy around me. And I don't know. I wanted to never thought of getting a telescope at one point because I didn't think I would ever have the chance to see a moon like that. And as much as I was interested in space, I was interested in what they were saying about the stars. But who would have thought that, we could actually get a good view of the moon, even with a smaller telescope, actually. But when I started seeing lights in the sky here, when I was on the buses, I said, I have to get myself a camera. I had a camera, wanted to start filming them, but it was hard to film the lights, in the sky, even a star at night. I mean, with my P900, maybe the 1000's better, but the Nikon P900, Peter, I go outside and I look up for a star. Holy shit. I have to up the lighting and everything, the exposure to be able to see it. Right.
I think the P1000's worse for low light. It's got better zoom, 3000 millimeter.
Yeah.
So that's the disadvantage. You're right there, Gabba.
See stuff on the moon. I was showing some of my moon photos in my community tab to some of my friends on my YouTube, and they were like, "Wow, that's amazing." We're discussing like how on earth did you get like all these different structures around the moon? And I'm like, I think it's just I've got the right angle at the right time, and the moon is at the right angle with the sun rays hitting it at the right angle at the right time, and it just reveals.
There's nothing else. There's no other reason.
Especially that Terminator line. I listen to you in the Terminator line. I look at the Terminator line for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah, and there's
I think it's just the right angle at the right time.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
I've got over 30,000 photos and videos of the moon.
Yeah, and they're different. Notice that they'll always be different. When you go back to Sinus Iridum or you go back to Copernicus Crater, you go, oh shit, look at those little 5 bumps. Didn't see that the last time. You go look in your footage, you go, oh no, they're there, but they're not as apparent. And that's when I came to see. I said, fuck, there's bloody clouds on the moon. Smoke, natural or not, there's a dust, smoke or haze. Look at NASA talking about the dust, saying, oh, there's a lot of dust on the moon. Let's ask some college people what we can do to alleviate the dust, the surface dust. What the hell? I mean, everything
you get those captures with the geometric shapes, and then I'll hit it with a video, 4K video, and then sometimes get atmospherics, and they start, the atmospherics and the humidity makes it wobbly and wavy, but you can still see it there. And even through the wobbly, hazy atmospherics, you can tell that they're not rocks because it doesn't look like anything else. And the color, the color tone, it's not the same color tone as the other colors on the moon. That's what puts me off. It's like they've painted it to look similar, but it's not the exact same color tone, and you won't find that color tone anywhere else on the moon. It's very unique.
Exactly. And the structuring, well, sometimes you go, oh, look, it's a shadow beside it. No, it's not a shadow. It's not a shadow. It's not always a shadow. There are shadows on the moon, but I showed a structure that was white, a square, and the shadow is a square with another edge on it. So it's not a shadow, And shadows.
I get lots of those. Yeah, I get lots of those.
Yeah,
I'm just like, oh my god, I'm getting the same stuff Bruce is getting. Yeah. Other people are getting it too. It just can't be camera artifacts or shadows or I can understand how if a meteor hits on the edge of the moon and a dust cloud forms and then light reflecting off the crater makes a mirage in the dust. I can understand that, but not the geometricness we get. It's just too much geometric. No,
exactly. So they can build it. They can build in those dark areas. And if you build a dark building in a permanent shaded area, it will never, ever be seen except for when there's luminosity, when there's lights, or when there's less refraction, or you bring exposure down from whatever technique you want to do. But they can build in the dark regions on the moon and absolutely remain hidden. They can build in the reflective parts and build metallic buildings or refractive buildings. As stupid as I said way back, you can just put a light on the surface, massive, 300 Q beams around a building going upwards with vapor going by. You'll never see anything. Don't even think of it.
You'd never see it.
300 miles away when you think of it. Like that asteroid coming is going to be pretty close, 100,758 miles as compared to.
It's raining. It's raining and cloudy here. No, and I think I'll see it in the southern hemisphere either.
That's what's going to happen. And when there's an asteroid, it rains. Every time they announce an asteroid, 90% of the time, it's friggin' raining outside. All right, Bruce, can you get the comment?
It's like they got the harp out, they've dumped the chemtrails. It's like, nah, you're getting clouds, baby. You're not looking at nothing.
Exactly. Or it's the bloody asteroid that's going by, and all that ice debris that's breaking off of it is descending down into the atmosphere, burning up, and well, who knows?
I think I saw my first chemtrail here a week ago.
Really, eh? Yeah, because Australia is rare.
I went for dinner with my mum and her boyfriend, came back from the restaurant, and like, there's a contrail. I was like, oh, Mum, look, contrail. She's like, what's a contrail? And I'm just like, oh, it's the chemicals they spray out of the plane. And go, chemtrail. And and her boyfriend goes, oh, it's probably contrail. I go, no, it doesn't look like it because it's really long, and it's been sitting in the air for at least 5-10 minutes and hasn't dispersed. Like the water vapor coming off the back of the turbine engines. I say, give it another 15-20 minutes, and if it still looks like that, it's definitely a chemtrail. I went back out half an hour later, it was still there, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, because it follows the plane. I haven't seen them
here for a while.
When the plane goes by, it follows the plane. It's about the distance, the length of
5 minutes. It's gone.
5 minutes. 6 or 7 planes. Yeah, and it's following the plane as it's going. It's about this long behind the plane, and as the plane's going forward, you see it following. Chemtrail, they just go just a little spray of the chemtrail, and it stays there. Gets wide.
It's like glue. It's like glue. It sticks
and it
the
widens.
Air.
You see
it's designed
it traveling
to stick in the air and make a layer and stay there. It's like glue. Just like the saucer shape, the cloud shaped UFOs,
right?
If the cloud does not disperse after 10 minutes, it's possibly a saucer with like fog or mist around it, because there's been a lot of sightings where my friend in America, a truck driver in Minnesota, he filmed he calls it Astro Train. I uploaded the video of his video with a color night vision camera. It was like a long train carriage, about 1 or 2 jumbo jets long, and five black windows along the side with light coming out, which gave it a cigar shape,
right?
And it had fog or mist around it as it was like slowly moving through the air. And like, this has been sighted, and there's like dozens of videos about it all around America, South America, around the world. Like, everyone's filming this, and it's like flying around everywhere, but nobody knows what it is. But he saw it with his eyes. He had detailed drawing. I showed the detailed drawing by an artist, what he saw, and we have no idea what it is, but it's all over the world. It's everywhere, flying about.
It's incredible. Some of the, changing the subject, on the moon, some of the areas that look like I call them lots. When you're flying over in a plane over Earth and you go over this farmland in Canada or anywhere around the world where there's farms, and you see squares and different directions, like the grass is going or whatnot. Well, there's a lot of that on the moon in some areas, where if there's big areas, if there are prisons, let's say they have slaves there. Well, obviously the slaves would also be just not in cells. They could be possibly like us, living in towns, right? But that are closed in. So they're being held in. Basically, that's what they're trying to do to us, the 50-minute cities, and closing us in this one area where we're going to be able to walk to the groceries and walk to here and walk to that.
Like they're trying to do in the UK with the ring. Have you heard about that?
There you go. Yes.
The ring, and like you have to go around the ring to go into the next town, but you got to get a border pass to go to the next town, and you can only go 5 times in a month with the border pass to go from one suburb to the next suburb. But you have to use the link road. You got to spend half an hour going around the link road instead of going straight there 5-10 minutes.
Craziness.
They're just like, what's this border pass? What, you're going to make me drive half an hour to get to the next town?
So that's to know where you're going. So they want to know where you're going.
In a month.
Yep, they want to know where you're going.
They're just segregating us, separating us. They don't want us getting together and discussing stuff and talking about stuff, because then we question everything. And then we'll know if people question everything, we know what they're trying to do to us and what they're trying to pull the wool over
that's
our
why in
our
France,
eyes.
that's why in France, when you see the Nazi police there in France separating a large group, you see a large group of 10,000 people, they go into that and they push a couple of hundred in one corner. They push a couple of hundred more in one corner. They don't want them gathering together. When there's a protest, like now you're seeing in France that even the elders and everything are coming out. Everyone's coming out. Now
They
the
separate
police,
them.
yeah, and because they can't
Got
do
to keep
anything.
them separated.
There's got to keep them separated. There's too many.
Dun, 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 dun.
There's too many of them. You can't do anything. They're just all there. And now with the canisters, they friggin' spray the canisters, tear gas, and then
Pepper spray.
they pick it up and they throw it back to the cops. So it's like they can't really do anything.
They throw fireworks at the cops. They get those high-powered laser beams and blind the entire riot squad.
Absolutely, they must be pissed, and you can
That's
tell
what they
they're
did in
pissed.
Greece. That's what they did in Greece with the Greek riots. They had to shut down the city for 2 months. The police called the army. The army said, "No, it's not our problem," because some cop fired his rifle shot his pistol into a wall to do a warning shot to a 16-year-old having a fight, and it ricocheted and killed the 16-year-old kid. The Greeks went wild, tore down Athens for 2 months straight.
There you go. Yeah. And that's
destroyed the place.
More.
My brother was over there. He was taking pictures with the camera when he was over there with my dad. He was kicking bricks off the wall and handing them to the protesters to throw. I was just like, "Oh, what are you doing?" He ended up getting tear gassed. They were getting the high-powered laser beam pointers out, blinding all the riot squad so that they couldn't arrest the protesters or do anything.
Oh yeah, it's dangerous too. That laser is dangerous.
Do nothing for 2 months. Like you don't fire warning shots into walls. What the hell is going on with these cops, man?
Yeah. I mean, that is like totally crazy. We need to find ingenious ways of really pissing them off that doesn't hurt anyone, but that completely pisses them off. Like I'm thinking back when I was young.
In Canada, the video you put in Canada with the cop stuck on the wall when the Canada stuff was going on, and his pants had fallen down, and I was laughing so much when I saw that.
Yeah, exactly. Like we have to do something like, for example, that's something that's pissing them off though. In France, they're cutting off the roads. So one guy went and he broke the cement on the road about this wide and dug a little hole trench. So the whole highway, because of that little hole, people can't go by. And then he went further. The cops are sitting there and they're putting shit in the hole to try to fill it up. And you see them further away. They're axing and picking again, going back. Tell you, they better be careful with what they're doing, the governments and the people, because they're making the people pass off for domestic terrorists. And they're not doing anything wrong. The peaceful protests start off peaceful, and then the cops start shooting tear gas canisters. You hear it, ping, on someone's forehead, right in his glasses there. I mean, they're literally
domestic terrorists.
Like they're doing it on purpose.
The BLM
for
burned down 50 American cities every night for like 8 months, 12 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's okay. But if you question the authority changing laws and doing things that go against our privacy and our rights, you're a domestic terrorist. You can see what they're doing there.
Absolutely. Yes, I shouldn't be laughing, but it was hilarious. The cop said, if you don't stop, you're going to see what's going to happen to you. Somebody threw a canister back at him. I don't know if they hit it with a bat or whatever, but it hit his helmet and it just knocked him out. The cop fell over on his back, and then the other cops, they run and they charge 16 or 17-year-olds that are on the wall out. It's stupid. You look at the protests, you go, look at the people, they're stupid. Look at the cops, they're dumb. The cops do stupid things. The people do stupid things. I saw a guy running in town. Okay. He steals a guy's bicycle and he starts busting out windows this afternoon in France, starts busting out windows. And he's telling people around him, put your cameras down, it's fucked up in the head. Like in the States or any other country, you have Antifa like morons that go to break up the town so that the news media can say, oh my gosh, look what they're doing, arrest them. There's 85,000 cops just right fucking there, standing up looking at him, and they don't go and arrest the dweeb. I'd shoot a tear gas right in his temple and punch to make him think a little bit. Right in the temple, just fucking whip a tear gas at him, because they're destroying the chance of people wanting to, create freedom of speech or liberty. But the government is making us feel that freedom of speech and peaceful protesting is bigotry. It's racism. It's against the system and stuff like that. Screw you, the system. We made the system. They have to be there for us. If the government is not there for the people will never be happy. Protests will absolutely never stop. I mean, it's just going to be a continual, thing that's going to go on. Now we got a couple minutes, guys, left, maybe 5 minutes. And then I'll head off, maybe give my son a little call. But
yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. Burning down the cities every night for like 6 to 8 months, then looting everyone's shop, even your local community shops, destroying all the businesses. After 50% of businesses had to close down because of all the COVID lockdowns.
That's the
just destroyed. That's just devastated small business, like the community you live in. Like what's this
3 years, right? Destroyed every friggin' small business, pizzerias, restaurants, corner stores, even grocery stores, and now Walmarts, McDonald's are closing down.
Malls, super malls have closed down. They can't even operate no more.
That is crazy. Hey, Chip Snyder.
I think it's all part of like the globalist plan, so that shut down all the small shops so that you have to go to their shop, their corporation, to order everything.
Absolutely.
So I think they wanted that. I think it's part of their little agenda.
Absolutely. I want to say thank you to Chip Snyder, and thanks for the contributions, you guys. Chip says, do you think NASA still has the picture from the Apollo missions, the ones that were doctored and airbrushed or given to private sector? I believe that they probably could still be out there, because they want to pick up those images. Thanks, Chip. They want to pick up those images so that people won't be able to look into them very much, because I don't know if you guys heard about them, but the airbrush scrubbed images, is lots of them apparently that they scrubbed out. Chip,
I go researching looking for them, and I find bits and pieces that people have put up on websites, and then they have the link to the original NASA site, and you click on the links and try to see the original NASA site or the military site, because military satellites also took photos of the lunar operations. All been scrubbed, all been deleted.
Absolutely.
It's very, very difficult to find. I've done a lot of research trying to find that, and just on all
Google
the links
Maps,
are gone.
Yeah, well, on Google Maps, there's a dark triangle. I think it was in the States that it was seen, that it was scrubbed. That's something that
they scrubbed it.
Yeah, they literally took it out.
That was probably Black Ops, maybe the TR-3B that they've had for the last 20 years. The first TRB-3 sightings.
Doesn't it scare you?
I think the first TRB-3 sightings were like 91, Belgium. The Belgium,
yes,
because the pictures came out from Belgium.
Yeah, it took 10 years to leak. It took 10 years to leak.
Yeah, the government over there is very open about UFOs and stuff. So they discuss it with the community. So they let information out. And I think that's when we first started seeing the TR-3B. So we've had them for like 20, 30 years or something.
Yes, and I have a problem with that. Yeah, the one from Belgium, exactly. He was told not to leak it out yet. They waited 10 or 20 years to
delay it.
Yeah. And you're not going to tell me, nobody can tell me that they're doing secret freaking projects, and that at 2:13 in the afternoon, one of the big ass TR-3B was going over a farmland, and that Google was underneath taking freaking pictures of the sky and everything. It's ridiculous when you think of it. Or the satellite images. You would think that if it was really secret projects and nothing alien, that it would, in the States, they would know exactly precisely at what time, when to go or when not to go, right? In the middle of the afternoon, you see a TR-3B like that. Wait a minute. If they got it in the image, it's because that mother was friggin' stationary. It was sitting there with 3 lights over in the middle of the day. The States would never have allowed that. So it could friggin' well be
they
out
would
of
know
this
when
world.
Google satellites over there taking photos, but if they have to do a mission that's important, they don't care about Google Earth. They're doing the mission.
That's right.
Mission comes first.
That makes sense.
They got to save lives. They got to save facilities, because that's what the army does. They stand around all day and they just protect buildings. That's why, like, the Air Force is better because you get to fly around and do stuff. Or the Navy is another good military sector, because you go in ships and submarines and travel around the world. But if you join the army, you just stand around the building and guard it all day.
Absolutely. And now the Navy's taking over what the Air Force is usually in charge of, the UFO data and files. Now they said that the Navy is, it's recent. 2 days ago, they said that now the Navy wants everything, all the information, and it's going to hold all the information. It goes back to Bob Lazar, but like my friend said, Bob Lazar, when he had the clearance,
I've read the Navy has always been in charge of space orientated stuff since the 30s and the 40s. They've been a lot of people have been reporting they were the ones that ran anything to do with space. Was all Navy commanders in control of it, and organizing and planning and building and making and doing all sorts of stuff.
Absolutely.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting learning and researching this stuff.
Absolutely. It really is. Well, hey guys, not that I hate you, and I am going to get off to go talk to my son to give him a little hello. And I appreciate both of you guys. I love you guys. Thanks for coming on.
No worries. Good to see you again, boys.
Gabber Beast TV channel. You can check him out. It's always here on the channel. And of course, our friend Peter Benton, also Cynical Entity, his music parody channel. Please check it out for our friend Peter Benton. And guys, I'll talk to you all very, very soon.
Good to see you again, Peter Benton. Good to see you again, mate. Great to see you again, Bruce.
I'm going live myself straight after this. Just so you know.
You're going streaming? Are you streaming, you mean?
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, those of you watching, Peter Benton is going to stream right now. So you guys can head over from here to there. And
go live.
Absolutely. And in the community here, guys, thank you very much for the generous contributions, for coming by. If you are looking at the videos, it's definitely contributing to the channel. So I'll talk to you all very, very soon. Forgive me for cutting it off so quickly, but I'll be back on. Love you too, man.
Love you, Bruce. Great talking to you again.
Absolutely.
I'm going to get out of here. Last time someone abused me on Twitter, very, very foul, because they said, I saw you on Bruce Sees All chat talking to Bruce Sees All. How could you do that? Because I do live videos with my friend in New Zealand, discussing UFOs and aliens and debunking fake videos and pictures. Is this real? Is that not? Discussing real cases. We got people that work for MUFON that come in and we talk and have live chats and talk about our experiences.
Right,
and my friend had to block him on Twitter. I was just like, I went off at him. I'm just like, who are you to tell me who I can and can't talk to? I like Bruce. He's entertaining.
And that's what they do. My trolls usually email people.
Talk about stuff.
Oh, yes.
I didn't even block him. I'm like, do I need to go home to my mom and get a permission slip?
Oh, yeah. They will email my community.
On our friends' chat.
They will email my community and tell people, Bruce is this, don't do that. Bruce abused my kid. He told her to fuck off. It could have been
one of your trolls. One of your trolls pretending to be somebody else. I've lost track of the trolls and like telling them to get stuffed on your channel. I lost track of their names and who they are. They changed their names. I don't care. Just ignore
anything and anyone that interacts with me. Peter too.
I never told you this, Bruce. But you know about the trolls that left comments. I never told you this though. I had an email way back when that Kirby guy was on the case.
I believe it. I know they're emailing.
I never told you this. He dropped an email, and he was trying to say that the reason why you lost your job on a bus was because you used to kick off on the kids.
Yeah, and hard too.
You used to have
I used to bring them home.
Trying to say you had issues with temper and that you used to lash out at the kids, and that's why you lost it. And all the parents know about it and all this.
Kids were so full of marks, man, that they arrested me.
I would have bunked them over the head with a tire lever. Get off my bus.
Exactly. No, the only thing a bus driver can do is hit the brakes too quickly and say sorry. That's about the only thing we can do. You're traveling around with 60 kids that are all ever so innocently not thinking of the dangers, standing up in the bus. I was
screaming,
a good bus driver. Yeah,
jumping up and down, screaming.
Yeah. Only one day. I went in there and I said, I'm going to be the coolest bus driver, and the kids were like, dude, you are not at the age to be considered cool. It's basically what the kids were saying. They were looking at each other and saying, he says he's going to be cool. Isn't that so gay? You hear him talking in the back, and I'm talking grade 1, grade 2 there. I've been told to fuck off by a kindergarten. My dad, he said that like that. And I said, yeah, you didn't see my dad, eh? No, I'm kidding. Threatening me. I never got the gum. I never got the gum in the hair. So I was happy for that. I tried to be funny. You know how, I was bad because you know how I tried to get on their side, the kids? When they'd get in and bitch about the teachers, I'm saying, those damn teachers, eh? Oh, they're not easy to get along with, eh? Oh, they're not easy to get along with. The kids started loving me. They said so much every time Mr.
He would have been like Otto, the bus driver on The Simpsons. I'm telling you, he's the Canadian version of Otto. On the bus.
Yeah, well, no, not at that point. Otto with the long hair, and he smoked joints while he was driving the bus. But anyways, all right, guys, this was really fun, and everyone in the community, bye to you guys too. I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Bruce.
Head to Peters. No problem, man. My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
See you.
Bye.
See you later. Probably going to be the last to come off. Here we go. Come on, Peter.